Hey, welcome into Wired for Bass. And if you're tuning in on the other side of this, this is going to also be a podcast. So welcome for tuning in for the BAM Pod. I am here today with a young gun coming up. With me, I'm liking to do, I just had Shaw Griggs Beyond. We're going to have Luke Clausen coming on. We've had Fred Romanis. We've had Bob Blackery. I try to reach the entire spectrum. And this kid right here was highly recommended to me. He came from Indiana. He's fishing down in Tennessee right now. I'm going to introduce you to Jaxton Orr. And Jaxton, welcome on in, bud.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on the show, Ed. I appreciate it.
No problem, dude. When young guns are coming in, I like you to go ahead and just introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us who you are. You know, I've heard some really cool things. I've heard some really stuff. There's a big old check there behind you, some trophies over there. It's like, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell us what you've done, what you are, and kind of who you're fishing for now and everything else.
Yeah, so I grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is up in the northeast corner, and I've been fishing my entire life. When I'm 5 years old, I remember just going to the local ponds and fishing for bass and catfish on a bobber. And I actually got into tournaments when I was 14 years old. And that was when I participated in my first kayak fishing tournament, and was super fortunate to do well in that. And ever since then, I've fallen in love with the competition of fishing, and did some high school tournaments in Fort Wayne, Indiana, fished for Homestead High School, and was very blessed to get a scholarship to Carson-Newman University to fish on their bass fishing team. And that's where I am right now.
Well, that's impressive. So one of the things is I was told is you just qualified also for the United States Kayak Fishing Team. Is that what it was?
Yes, sir. Yes, it's the USA Kayak Fishing Team. So I'm looking forward to that. It was supposed to be, I think, last weekend, but it got postponed because of COVID. So it's going to be next spring.
Okay. So one of the things coming in right now is how big this kayak event's been. Now you're fishing on the college team right now, which means you're fishing out of a big boat, right? You're fishing for Carson. So you're fishing out of the big boat. Give me the kind of the difference that you found and what you're finding when you're going against the kayak, the kayak versus the boat. What's your big take on, vice versa on which one is there, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's a big change. I have fished in bass boat tournaments in the past, but when I'm kayak fishing, I'm focusing on 5 bites, and I'm doing it all myself. I don't have a partner, and I'm not seeing what my teammates are doing and getting inside information like that. And on Carson-Newman, I'm fishing with a partner, and it's a different mindset. I mean, you're going for, I could contribute 2 to 3 fish that are bigger, than just trying to get 5, keepers. And so it's different in the pound and inches to like inch, and kayak fishing, it's scored by inches, and then pounds in bass boat fishing. So it's quite a change.
Yeah. Coming from the college ranks now, you're going to go up. Where are you looking to go? What are you looking to move on? And what are you looking to do?
Yeah, so my goal right now is to get a bass. I actually don't own a bass boat right now. I use my partners, but my goal right now is to get a bass boat when I'm a sophomore. Currently, I'm a freshman, and work my way up and try to fish the opens and qualify for the elites. And people ask me about the whole kayak fishing deal. That's going nowhere. I'm going to continue to fish in the national kayak tournaments like the Hobie BOS and KBF and even Bass Nation. So I'm just going to see where God takes me, and just try my best.
Okay. So fishing, you're pretty much just going to focus on everything. So what are you focusing on in college right now then? What's your degree going to be in?
Yeah, so business and marketing is going to be my major, and then I'm going to minor in finance.
Okay. So these kids that are coming out of these colleges, these kids are coming up, you guys are learning, you're figuring it out, man. Marketing, advertising, public speaking, and going ahead and getting into that finance, and learn how to use that money. I got to tell you, I got to believe that some of these kids coming, playing football and baseball and all that need to learn some of these courses too. But it's good to see that you got your head on straight right there with that. So Why don't you tell us a little about, your fishing style and what you kind of, what are you big in? What's your go-to, what's your power, what's your strengths?
Yeah, I love fishing grass, especially like this time of the year when it gets windy. I love throwing that jackhammer around, and I also like punching grass a lot, thicker grass. Even if I don't get bit, it's just I love it. I love the feeling of punching a ounce and a half weight through all that thick grass. I also really love fishing, like rocky banks and bluffs with a jig or a crankbait or something. I love doing that.
What's your lakes out there? What do you have you fallen? I mean, you said Fort Wayne, Indiana. Where's your honey hole? What's your spot, man? What's your lake?
Yeah, it's a big change because Fort Wayne, like we have a bunch of smaller lakes, like tinier lakes, but we have a bunch of them. And where I am right now in Jefferson City, Tennessee, we've got two lakes, kind of really close to college, and that's Cherokee Lake and Douglas. And right now they're both fishing pretty tough, but they're both going to turn on within the next few weeks. I've been hearing.
So have you been in the big lakes there, Chickamauga, you've been up there and hitting those?
I haven't been to Chick yet. I had a tournament on Watts Bar a few weeks ago. That fish tough, but there was a good bag weight in. But I'm planning to go to Chick within the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah. Get up there. That's grass right there, man. That lake's all new grass. Yeah. It's got good stuff in it. It's gonna be fishing well. What was your last year? You said Watts Bar? Is that what you said?
Yes, Watts Bar. Yeah, we had a tournament there about 3 weeks ago.
How'd you end up doing?
4 weeks ago. Me and my partner, we actually finished 16th. That's our worst finish so far this year. It was super tough. I think we only weighed in 2 fish. So then there was only one limit, I believe.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, I like to talk a little bit about some of the, different techniques that are going on right now. The transitions, the falls, how I like to see how different guys approach it. What are you looking at right now? I know you're in Tennessee, so it's a little different than, some of the other places, but what are you looking at right now as far as your transitions and your timing, what's going on with fishing, and, what are the bait choices you're going to have and that sort of thing? I'd like to hear what, different guys are doing in different places.
Yeah, for me, since it's beginning to be fall, I really like finding bait fish and, schooling bait fish, whether that's in the back of pockets or, going into creeks, because I know this time of the year, those bass are going to be feeding on bait fish, and, throwing a Kitech swim bait, jackhammer, a spook. I always have a spook ready, not even hooked up to my hook keeper or anything. I always have it ready just in case something's going to blow up. But that's my favorite way to go after them during the fall.
Yeah. And then we got, and with that fall transition coming in, we got winter coming up and all that. What are what's you're going to keep following this bait fish and all that. When do you start just, turning over to the winter stuff, going a little slower, going a little more, when is that coming up here for this?
To be honest with you, you can still kind of do that, like slow stuff in the fall, like fish a bluff bank or even riprap, or use that on Cherokee. A Demiki rig, super big, and catch them pretty good there. But definitely within the next month, when the water temps starting getting down to low 60s, that's when I'll probably start fishing pretty slow with like even using blade baits and stuff and spoons.
Okay. Now you're just talking about a lot of that stuff that you're talking about. It's going to be open water, not much of that grass. Are you stop fishing that grass during this time of year? Or are you going to, you still looking to hold into it?
Yeah. I'll fish both. I'll fish rock and grass. I like fishing. If I can find any grass during like the winter months, I'll fish it. I'll throw something moving over it. And usually they'll be hiding in that grass if there's grass during that time, and just come out and grab it.
Anything change really with, the bait presentation or the bait choice or the bait presentation when you are looking grass compared to open water for, this fall transition, or are you still just looking for that bait fish mixed in with it?
Yeah. As far as, like you mean like as far as my presentation and what?
Yeah. What's your, the whole, it's like break down a little bit about what the whole transition, means when it's, I know that you start looking for bait fish, but you start getting into that grass, you're not going to be throwing, you're not going to be throwing a bunch of, treble hook baits inside of it. But you kind of switch up, and what do you look for confidence wise and say, hey, this is what I'm actually going to focus on if I'm finding grass on these cold, these fall transitions?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm finding grass, I'm throwing usually everything weedless and natural. I'll see that bait fish and I'll try to get a really good look at them and match the hatch. So if it's gizzard shad, throw a bait throw a jackhammer that looks like gizzard shad, and same with a Kitech or something, and spook, same color as that, and just throw it over that grass and try to make it look the same.
So you're not really fishing into the grass. You're kind of trying to pull them out more than anything.
I like fishing weed lines. So I really like fishing, and I'll sit in 15 foot of water and throw in 7, and that grass should, come up to 4 foot. That's my favorite type of grass to fish.
Which grass do you, now I know that, all over the place are kind of different grasses. What's your favorite one? Is it just, you like hydrilla mostly, or you?
I'm a big hydrilla guy. I really like hydrilla. I grew up fishing hydrilla, so that's kind of my confidence there.
Okay, so you're more of that, hey, if I can find it, I'm going to fish that. That's where I'm going for, and hoping you're getting those big fish out of there. So where are you guys trying to travel into, and what's the difference, with the, to kind of get back into this kayak, versus the boat stuff, as I hear a lot about, the nice thing about the kayaks is you can take them to smaller lakes. Are they doing that, or are they still putting them on the same lakes that you're doing your college stuff on?
They're putting them on the same lakes that the college scene's on. Like, for instance, I've got a tournament November 12th, I believe, on Lake Eufaula. And then next year my first one's on Toledo Bend. So I mean, it's like we have them on Kentucky Lake, Chickamauga, everything. So the national scene, they're always on those bigger and well-known lakes.
Okay. And then I guess the biggest thing, is what what's the advantage, disadvantage, to the kayak, when you're out there? I mean, it is something, there's some people that are really drawn to the kayak, and some of it's expense, some of it's not. But what is it that really draws you over there and says, hey, even though I'm fishing this and I want to fish these, I'm going to stick with that kayak because what is it that just draws you to it?
It's just, I like fishing in areas that aren't super pressured. Like, for instance, on Lake Darnell, you can go way back into creeks and swerve your way through where bass boats can't really get in. And I just like being on the water by myself. I think I fish better by myself, and just having all my stuff in my kayak, and I think one thing that helps me the most and that I like about kayak fishing is that you launch at one ramp, and you can't really run. You got to kind of focus on that area, and it allows me to really pick apart and hopefully catch every fish in that area. And I feel like that makes me better as a co-angler for college, and hopefully as a better boat angler when I get my boat.
We have a process that we call simple price, simple process. And what that means is we take our lowest and best price and we post it on every single card. There's no back and forth. And by simple process, what that means is when you meet somebody, they can handle every aspect of what you do in your card transaction buying experience from beginning to end.
Now, I was going to say, kind of leading off of that, you say, it's going to make you a little better with your boat. Does it really do you find that when you are, you go back to the boats, you go back to fishing that you find yourself really focusing better on those specific spots, specific points, and not running as much?
Yeah, I do. I mean, my partner, his name's Kaz Anderson. I'm in the back of the boat, or I'll even go up in the front with him, and like he'll be throwing something fast and covering water. Like, he'll be power fishing, and I'll throw something slow behind him, and I'll still be catching fish because I'm used to fishing slower, covering the area to its full potential. And I think that helps me from kayak fishing a lot.
Okay, that's You know, it's I think one of the interesting things that I've heard from a lot of different guys is when they talk about their kayak fishing and then they go into the boats and start fishing, is the fact that it has brought them down a little bit and said, hey, you know what, you can fish these spots out and fish them a little differently. So that's, you know, that kind of, you know, does make to that point. Who you fishing? I mean, now, is there anybody specific you fish for with the kayaks, or you get a team that you do with that, or are you just by yourself, or are you?
Yes. So right now, I've been doing it by myself, but this upcoming year, Carson Newman's going to have a kayak fishing team where we're going to be able to travel to these national tournaments and represent Carson Newman. I think it could be something big. I think it's going to start off slow, but I feel like more and more people are going to recognize it and start joining.
Now, is that going to be, I'm guessing, under the auspices of the college? It's not going to be open events, or is it going to be open events with colleges invited? I mean, how is that?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be opens, but only collegiate anglers can fish. So like Auburn, Bethel University. So
okay, how's that competition been down there? I mean, we're out in California. I don't think we have it quite as much as you guys have back there in the in the competition of colleges. So what's your you're fishing from Carson? Who's your rivals, man?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we got to worry about Montevallo and Auburn. We're trying to get school of the year this year. We got really close last year. We're sitting in 13th right now, but we haven't fished any major events. We just sent some boats down to Darnell, so hopefully they do well there. But yeah, we gotta really worry about Montevallo. They won school of the year last year, so we're gonna try to win it this year.
Now, what do you get? What do you get for school of the year? What is that? Is it just honors, or is it?
Yeah, we get a trophy, honors, and the school gets a lot of recognition, and I think that would be really big for our program.
I was gonna say, is there bonuses, money bonuses for the colleges? Is there, scholarships? I mean, I'm guessing you're under scholarship. You said right now coming down there. So did you get a full ride scholarship to go to college to fish?
I did not. No.
Okay.
I did not get a full ride. No. But it did help a lot with the cost.
Okay.
So
are they available for are there full rides available for fishermen?
I haven't heard of any full rides.
Okay.
I'm sure there is, not through the school, but through like other fishing related organizations.
Right.
But I don't think there are through schools.
Okay. Yeah, that's just kind of one of those things I've always wondered about with I keep hearing these the high school. I'm guessing eventually in the future it's probably going to go that way. That will happen as long as this keeps going. And like you say, if you get these colleges that are school of the year or program of the year, that sort of thing, it's going to be eventually work itself up and get there. I guess some of the other question, with the different ways you're going, what are you working towards, when you're talking about you want to get on the opens, you want to get on the elites, and you're looking to get on a boat? What kind of avenues are you going to go down right now? When are you going to start, when do you start looking into fishing those? Are you going to fish them during college? Are you going to fish them as the season comes up, or you got to focus right now on the school stuff and then wait till after?
Yeah. So like I said, I'm going to hopefully get a boat my sophomore year. Mm-hmm. And, talk to my coach, Hunter Sales, about, what I want to do, where I want to be. He's actually fishing the opens right now. And, I'd really like to double dip and fish the collegiate scene, and also, fish a few opens, just see how it goes, and, see how I do in them. And if I want to pursue that still in college or just focus on college. So, I mean, as of right now, it's just going to be trial and error. Just doing my best, try to, just do everything and see what works best.
Okay. What's it been? I mean, sponsor wise, with you being on the college, circuit and that sort of thing, have you garnered any interest from sponsors yet? Have they kind of noticed? Guys were telling me, hey, this guy's been a heck of a stick. He's been tearing it up. So, what's been coming your way? Anything major yet?
No, I mean, I've been ever since I'm 16 years old is when I got my first sponsor. And ever since then, I've been very blessed to actually, get a sponsor for about everything I need since then. So I've got, 13, 14 amazing sponsors that,
Let's hear who they are, man. Give them out
there. Yeah, I've got St. Croix rods and obviously a Hobie. I fish out of a Hobie Pro Angler 14.
Okay.
Absolutely love it. Eagle Claw and Trocar, Yak Gear and Real Blaza, Tourney Tag and Tourney X. Tourney X, that's actually what we do our kayak fishing tournaments on. It's that online app.
Know it well.
And yep, Gill Fishing, Fishing Online, Cowcoast Fishing, Dakota Lithium, Realtree, and Kayak Fishing. So all of them, support me. It's like a big family with each of the companies.
That's awesome. I mean, going forward, keeping those relationships and going, moving in, it's definitely something that's, going to be important to you, and learning how to do these seminars and learning how to talk about this stuff and coming on to programs and getting out there and doing all this is super important. So yeah, it sounds like you're definitely in the right area, and you're working hard. What's your biggest finish? What do you accomplish? Your biggest accomplishment, you feel like, so far?
Yeah. My biggest accomplishment nationally was actually, I think it was the second biggest tournament I've ever fished. That was the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship last year on Lake Gunnersville. And I think there was right around 400 boats in it. And I was leading day one. It was a 3-day tournament. I was leading day one, slipped a little bit on day two. So I ended up second after day three. But that was an awesome experience for sure. So I'd say that one.
So you took a third place in that one?
Second place. So there was a 3-day tournament. Yeah.
Wow. And you had over 400 boats, and you ended up in second.
Yeah, right around 400 in second place. Yeah, no, I was very great. It was awesome.
That's pretty impressive right there, man. How'd you end up doing that? What was your baits of choice and all that up there? And Gunnersville's a good one that people like to hear about. So
yeah, it's funny. We were just talking about that because it was during the fall. I found that grass line that I liked. I was sitting in like 10 foot of water, casting into like 5 foot drop, reeling a jackhammer right over the grass, and they were stacked there. There was bait everywhere. They were stacked. It was on a bite where I'd catch them in the morning, and I'd kind of just sit in my spot for a little bit and not make a cast for a while, just because I didn't want to waste that spot up. I'd catch 18 to 20 pounds in the morning and just leave it alone.
Right.
Just yeah.
So you just day after day, the same thing. You just sat on the same spots over and over.
Yeah, I had to adjust because the wind really helped my bite, that jackhammer bite. On day two, it was a little tough, so I had to throw out that spook. Picked up a spinnerbait a little bit, and then when it got really calm, I threw that fluke a little bit. And then day three is what really messed me up, because there was no wind at all in the morning. It was just slack calm, so I had to adjust, and I was throwing a 10-inch worm almost all day long. That's the only thing I can get them to bite on. I threw a wacky rig Senko and a Texas rig Senko for a while, but they really like that 10-inch worm a little bit better.
Nice. So that was that's good. I mean, that's a heck of a tournament to take right there when you got 400 bucks taking second place right there. So
thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on that. So upcoming right now, you've got some college stuff still going, and you said November. What's your next season? When do you guys kind of kick off and head out? And I know you said you didn't really know when the USA team. What is that USA team? What is that a little bit? Tell us a little about what it actually is.
Yeah,
I've never even heard about it.
Yeah, so what it really is I believe there's 8 or 9 guys that were picked to be on the USA team, and they were going to have an open, and whoever won that open would be the last guy on the team. And once the team's finalized, we'll travel. I believe we'll travel around the world. That's from my understanding. That's what we're gonna be doing, and fishing against Sweden, Brazil, Mexico. So
holy moly.
Yeah,
this is a really heck of an opportunity for you.
Tired of searching through ads to find bass articles in your favorite fishing magazine? Well, we have a solution for that. Introducing Bass Angler Magazine, with over 30 articles in every issue, filled with tips and techniques to help you catch more fish. Follow the pros as they publish the most up-to-date seasonal methods to catching bigger bass. Whether you're a beginner or professional angler, make Bass Angler Magazine part of your gear today. Be a part of the fastest growing bass publication in the nation. Log on to bassanglermag.com with code TV and save 20% when you subscribe now.
Yeah, it's like the Pan Am, like, Scott Martin Fish, all those guys. So it's gonna be awesome. I'm very excited for it.
So speaking about that a little bit, who is some of your guys that you've watched over the years? Who's your idols up there and the guys up in front of you? Who are you looking to fish against?
In the future, I've always watched Jacob Wheeler. Mike Iaconelli, he's a big dude on the kayak scene too. He fished a few kayak tournaments, and Randy Howell. Guys like them. And then I've got a lot of guys in the kayak fishing community that definitely, if they wanted to, make it to the big leagues, they definitely could. Like Russ Snyder's used to fish pro. I got a lot of guys that I look up to, and very fortunate to have them teach me a lot of things to make it better.
Yeah, that's one of the things, I talked to Shaw Grigsby recently, and that was, I was asking him about some of that and some of the, you young guys coming up. And it seems like there's a lot of respect for, the guys who kind of paved the way and are going ahead. You kind of really find that in the way you're going, these guys reaching back to kind of help you up rather than push you down or try to keep you away from everything.
Yeah, I see that, especially like the guys I stay with at like these national tournaments. They're very open, and even just fun fishing. Like, they'll teach me new techniques, and that's huge for me on this college team on Carson Newman. Like, I'm not used to being around a bunch of guys my age who fish differently and have their own specialties. And ever since I've got to college, it's made me a better angler just because I've been fishing with different people and learning new things and how to approach a brush pile different, for instance, or how to approach a bluff different.
Okay. I mean, that's that's one of the things I think that we don't see a lot in some of the other sports. And guys that are trying to keep their spot or keep this going, they're not looking to let the younger guys come in and be quite as open and honest with them about what's actually going on out there. So it's good, it's good to hear. It's good to see. I think this whole kayak thing is going to be really big, and I think that you've got a good leg up, and you're starting off great, man. I want to, we're probably going to wrap this up about 40 minutes in here, and we'll get it going. I wanted to, I'm always happy to bring these young guys on here that really talk about this stuff. And Jaxton, thanks for coming on tonight. We really appreciate it. And can't wait to keep watching your career a little bit. You got any social out there or anything you want to tell some people? Hey, if you want to follow me, if you want to look at me, you want to see what I'm doing, check this out.
Yeah. My Instagram is Jaxton Orr Fishing. And then my Facebook, just look up Jaxton Orr and you'll find it.
Okay. And that's basically where you put all your stuff out there right now, and kind of keep that going. And then as far as the college, where do they find you on the college? Is there a college, any college pages they can go to check out how you guys are doing, or follow you to see where your college is going to come in?
Yeah. On Facebook, you can look them up as Carson Newman Fishing. And then on Instagram, it's just CN Anglers.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah, you can see it. You can see everything there.
All right, man. Well, hey, again, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. It's good to find out and learn about these young guys, and it's good to see who's coming up and who's the next wave that's going to come up there and take over. We're looking to, some of these guys are getting older, the Kevin Van Dams aren't going to last forever. Even, Jacob Wheeler's looking to take that spot right now. And it's pretty impressive, but I like to see you young guys coming up and see where you're going to go. And we wish you all the best, man. Thanks for coming on, and we appreciate you.
No, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on.
No problem, man. Guys, thanks for tuning in. This is, either you're listening to this on the BAM pod or you're watching on Wired for Bass. We thanks a bunch, and really appreciate you coming on here. Thanks for doing that. If you can, share it and like it and tell everybody that it's out here. So appreciate y'all, and we'll talk to you later.